Worked in a cotton mill all of my life. All I got is a barley knife, and it's hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times everywhere. Hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times everywhere. We kids, we work 12 hours a day for 14 cents a measly pay. And it's hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times everywhere. Hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times everywhere. From Gilmore to Bartow's a long, long way down Cardi Cave from Melly J. And it's hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times everywhere. Hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times everywhere. When I die, don't bury me at all. Just hang my body from the spinning wool wall. Pickle my bones in alcohol. Hard times everywhere. Hard times, cotton mill girls. Hard times, cotton mill girls. Hard times, cotton mill girls. Hard times everywhere. Worked in a cotton mill all of my life. All I got is a barley knife, and it's hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times everywhere. Hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times, cotton mill girls, hard times everywhere. Hard times everywhere. We left the high school early. He drove me into town. We noticed on the smokestack all the bricks had been torn down. He was my friend and teacher. I was 18 years old. The textile mill in Windsor hadn't yet been sold. The mill survived the fire that had turned the town to ash, making clothing out of cotton until the town ran out of cash. A century of workers sweating in the heat, now faded like the cotton, ghosts wrapped in white sheets. And sometimes dreams go nowhere, but I feel like I've been traveling when I try to trace the thread, but the stitches come unraveling. Sometimes there is no ending, just something standing still on a long deserted island with an empty cotton mill. Someone had a vision that rose out of the steam to bring the a place to glory, a developer's dream. They changed all the windows, but the new ones have gone blind from staring at the highway with nothing on their minds. And sometimes dreams go nowhere, but I feel like I've been traveling when I try to trace the thread, but the stitches come unraveling. It takes time to make it work. It takes work to make it right. It takes both to keep somebody warm for more than just one night. The sky was gray and heavy, remembering the storm, soft and thick like sweaters that it kept the farmers warm. And it's been twice a lifetime.
What a fascinating topic, living and working in Bibb Village, a self-contained mill village in Bibb City, Georgia. Must have been a unique and complex experience. Here's an attempt to recreate what life might have been like for residents during the early 20th century. Working in the cotton mill was likely a demanding and monotonous experience. The mill operated 6 days a week, with workers putting in long hours, often 12 hours a day, and in a noisy, hot, and humid environment. The air was thick with cotton dust, which could lead to respiratory problems. Workers performed various tasks such as spinning, weaving, and carding. The work was physically demanding, with workers often performing repetitive tasks that required manual labor. Injuries were common, and workers had limited access to medical care. Mill housing, living in mill housing, which was typically provided by the mill owners, was a mixed blessing. On the one hand, the housing was often convenient and affordable, with rents deducted directly from workers' wages. On the other hand, the housing was often cramped, poorly ventilated, and lacking in basic amenities. Families lived in small, shotgun-style houses or apartments, with shared outdoor spaces and communal outhousings. The housing was often segregated, with African-American workers living in separate areas from white workers. Material shopping and community shopping in the mill storage was a convenient option for workers, as they could purchase basic necessities like food, clothing, and household goods using company scrip, a form of currency that could only be used at the mill store. However, this system also meant that workers were often trapped in a cycle of debt, as they were forced to purchase goods at inflated prices. Despite these challenges, the mill village was a close-knit community where residents looked out for one another. The village had its own independent school, which provided education for children of mill workers. The school was often underfunded and understaffed, but it played a vital role in the community. The village also had its own small police force, which was responsible for maintaining order and enforcing mill rules. However, this police force was often seen as an instrument of mill owner control, rather than a genuine public servant. Social life in the mill village was often centered around the mill itself, with workers gathering at the mill gate or in the nearby woods to socialize and share news. The village also had its own churches, which played a vital role in community life. Workers often participated in recreational activities like baseball, fishing, and hunting, which provided a welcome respite from the demands of mill work. However, these activities were often segregated, with African American workers excluded from participating in certain events. Challenges and conflicts. Life in the mill village was not without its challenges and conflicts. Workers often struggled with poverty, poor living conditions, and limited access to education and health care. The mill owners wielded significant power over the lives of workers, controlling not only their working conditions, but also their living arrangements and access to basic necessities. This led to tensions and conflicts between workers and owners, with workers often organizing strikes and protests to demand better working conditions and higher wages. Conclusion: living and working in Bibb Bibb Village was a complex and multifaceted experience that was shaped by the demands of mill work, the constraints of mill housing, and the social dynamics of the village community. While life in the mill village was marked by challenges and conflicts, it was also a place of community, solidarity, and resilience.